I was the minstrel in Something Rotten. I remember when I got the role, I was really excited, but I also hadn't really known so much about the character. So something I really enjoyed was looking at the show and listening to recordings of it and just finding different ways to play this character with the same energy, but also in my own way. But a huge part of it was just learning to develop the character, no matter where you were, whether it was on the screen or real life. I had never been taught to sing musical theater for a role because this was my first singing role. So it was really interesting to develop that character in that way because I think acting in a theater role versus acting in a musical theater role, you have to develop very different skills to communicate the character differently. One of the first challenges was that in the original show, the character, I don't really fit the vocal range because I'm a soprano and that character is a tenor alto. So there were a lot of parts that I could not reach. So it was interesting to figure out ways to sing the song in a different way so that it could be in my vocal range and still be able to give off the masculine energy of the character, even though I was singing it a little bit higher. So I thought that was a really fun challenge. And I think something that's really interesting about the character is that he's not very masculine necessarily like the other characters. I think that he can be played by women and men and still give off very masculine and very feminine energies. So that was a cool thing to work through. Something that I just found really fun about it. It's so much more about the energy of the song than really being a great singer. Working with people around in this show, I felt like you could learn something from everybody. The other shows I've done, last year I did Oliver at Blair. That one felt more specific to every scene, versus this one I felt like everybody had something they could do together in the ensemble scenes and work towards a common goal, which I found really cool. Blair Theatre is a place that is accepting to everyone, not just to actors. I think the general environment kind of wants everybody to succeed and wants everyone to have a chance to act and a chance to shine on the stage. Even if you're an ensemble or even if you don't have a role, that people are constantly finding ways for you to have a bigger part in the show.
So in the play Something Rotten, I was Lord Clapham, in the Red cast specifically. Lord Clapham is a lesser lord. He's a theater patron, but he withdraws money from the main character because his plays are not successful. Theater is such a fun, open, welcoming community. It's been really influential to me. I have so many friends in theater, and I always know that no matter what happens, it will be a good time. We'll be able to go through our goals for today while also having fun and laughing, and all types of people are included. I think something that I've learned from Blair Theatre is to always be open to change. Something could happen that you're not expecting, or a cut could be made. It could throw you off, or you could just keep going and try and move on from whatever happened, which is just so wonderful because I can respond to other people's acting better now than I previously did. If someone makes a choice that I wasn't expecting or messes up a line, I'm much better at being able to respond to that and to feed off of the other person's energy and keep the scene going. So I think theater has made me well adapted to change. For one show, I had to put on a British accent, and I had never done a British accent before, so that was really difficult. There are things that you have to learn that you don't know how to do, and obviously that's very stressful. Something that I've found really helpful is trying to embody small things about that character. For example, I had a character who was really dumb, so when I was just, doing homework or something, I'd practice having my mouth hang open to look really dumb. In my case, I found that if you practice specific physicality movements, then the other parts of your character will come easier. The rehearsals right before we open are always the most memorable to me. We all know our characters and we know our roles so well that by that very end period, we can have whatever fun with it we want. I remember one time we had practiced so much that we knew all of our characters and we knew each other's characters. So because we weren't really doing anything, the actors swapped and pretended to be each other. So it's those times when you know what you're doing enough to have fun, and it's always the time right before the shows that's the most fun to me.
In the musical, I am the choreographer of the entire show, and then I also play one of the supporting roles in the Red Cast. I started acting my freshman year. I'm primarily a dancer. I have a lot of dance training, and I had missed Palms auditions, so I ended up doing theater just to try to have something to do. So I didn't actually have any acting experience going into theater. Everybody was so nice to me, especially considering like I had no clue what I was doing. I had no clue how to act. I had no clue how plays worked or how double casting worked, and everybody there was so welcoming, especially like the freshmen and the upperclassmen helped us find a place in the show. But I think I've grown a lot as an actor just throughout the 3 years. I've learned a lot about acting as a whole as well. I've choreographed the dance for every show since my freshman year, and choreography is definitely a really big thing considering how many people we have in the classes. We have about 40 to 60 people. My biggest cast I've had is 80 people. I have to worry about everybody else in that moment, and I kind of put myself on the back burner until all of that gets done. I was very unprepared my first few times doing it, but a few things I've started doing now is figuring out what the show is way in advance. I start listening to the music, start listening to the songs, start researching the time period, and then from there I just start planning and filming myself doing videos so I don't forget it. And then just a process of getting it through the director, and then finally to the first rehearsal where I teach everybody. No matter what happens, I feel like the confidence that I've gained, the people skills that I've gained, the organizational skills that I've gained, those are just like little things that I feel like I'm just gonna carry with me throughout the rest of my life. Blair Theatre is a place where everybody finds somewhere to belong. It might not be where you think it'll be. You might not end up with the biggest part day one. You might end up with the biggest part day one and you have no clue what you're doing. Everybody belongs somewhere, whether it be in our pit orchestra, in the cast, acting, or on a stage crew. Everybody belongs somewhere in Blair Theatre.